What a great day for a rally, huh? We're standing here in the shadows, in the sunshine, in front of the Capitol, built in 1915, so that the people, you, can gather here peaceably like we are here now to express our grievances to government. I hear your voice. I hear Jared's voice. I hear the voice of my constituents. And they are saying Washington has stepped out of bounds again, and it's time to fix that. See, even back to the beginning of our nation, and even before the Constitution was ratified, the primary pen of the Constitution, and one of our founding fathers, James Madison, saw that the federal government, through its continual encroachment, would boil proverbial frog. And that proverbial frog is being boiled on the high heat this time. Said James Madison, I believe there are more instances of the abridgment of the freedom of the people by gradual and silent encroachment by those in power than by violent and sudden usurpations. James Madison hit the nail on the head. He understood, as the pen of the Constitution, he understood that the powers of Washington would swing into our states' rights and the rights of individual citizens. A mission that was not granted in the Constitution, never intended in the Constitution. Let me see. I have a copy of the Constitution here. I carry it around with me every once in a while. In fact, I have Cubs copies here. Believe it or not. I have to flip through Article 1, Section 8. This is one of my favorite sections of the Constitution, the enumerated powers of Congress. But here, in the 10th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, it reads, the power is not delegated to the states by the Constitution or prohibited by it to the states or reserved to the states respectively or to the people. The second paragraph in the Declaration of Independence says, we hold these truths to be self-evident. That all men are created equal, but they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of who? The government. We are the governed. The powers come to the federal government by who? Us, the people. We the people. We are the ones who they need to listen to. They've forgotten that they represent us as balanced, and that we make sure that they're looking after our interests and our state's rights. We passed HB 67. I spent most of the day on the phone yesterday. I was supposed to go back to work yesterday. I spent most of the day on the phone talking with people like yourselves, encouraging the governor to sign HB 67. The health care proposal by Washington, D.C. is one that will be checked by the state legislature, and that if it doesn't work for the state of Utah, we won't take it. This is one of the other bills that were read, SB 11 by Senator Marty Dayton. This says that if you manufacture a gun in the state of Utah, and use it in the state of Utah, feds, you have no control over this. Representative Hare, Representative Seption ran a number of bills for our state's land. 67% of the state of Utah is owned by the federal government. They've created a situation, and the governor will sign this. This is a situation that will allow for the state of Utah to condemn federal lands. It's cutting edge. It would cost us $3 million to do that. We found that $3 million. It's your money. It's mine. It's coming out of my back pocket. A few bucks of it. But I'll tell you right now, the legislature and the governor think that the federal government has stepped out of line long enough, and that it's time to take back our land. Well, hopefully we did good things this session in the legislature. We worked long and hard on a budget that was difficult to craft. We had to go back to last year's budget and recraft that, and rebalance that, and make cuts, 5% across the board, which is okay with me. It really is. I think we have these opportunities and the downturns in our economy, the downturns in revenue collection, to right-size government.
It's called responsibility.
It's called responsibility. See, every year, constitutionally, we have to balance our budget. I was back on the banks of the Potomac River there in the tidal basin by the Jefferson Memorial, and I looked over and I saw the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. I had taken a couple of years ago a tour of that facility, and I'm not sure how many people have been into that facility. That's where they print the $20 bills. Well, actually, they print all the dollar bills there, and they have that engraving machine and that printing machine going full time. And then when they make proposals to raise the cap, the debt ceiling, and when they make rules to spend trillions of dollars on a new debt and $1 trillion on a healthcare proposal that nobody really wants, they just turn up that machine faster and faster and faster, and it just creates more and more money. But we continue to call our representatives' offices. You know, they answer to us. They're just part-time, temporary rather. They're full-time. We're part-time legislature. They're full-time. They're a full-time legislature.
Supposed to be part-time.
Yeah, well, that's what I read.
They ought to be part-time.
But what we need to do is we need to remember that they answer to us. It's their money. It's their money.
Fire them.
We don't answer to them, they answer to us. They work for us. And it's not un-American to question authority. Right? It's our obligation. It's our responsibility as Americans. George Washington understood that very thing. The power of the Constitution will always be in the people. It is entrusted for certain defined purposes and for a certain limited period to representatives of their own choosing. And whenever it is executed contrary to their interests or not agreeable to their wishes, their servants can and undoubtedly will be recalled. It's time to recall. Let me close. Express my thanks to you as the citizens of the state of Utah, the sovereign state of Utah. Let me just close by saying thank you again. And America is good. America's good.
We don't need to apologize.
I believe in God, and He's the center of my life. He has made this nation great and has promised to continue to make it great if we pay attention to why He created this great nation. Those men and women who helped set up this great nation deserve our respect and admiration and our continued fight. On the walls of the Carpenters Hall that housed the First Continental Congress, there is a quote. It says, "Within these walls, Henry, Hancock, and Adams inspired the delegates of the colonies with verve and sinew for the toils of war." Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a war. Make no mistake about it. And we need to fight this. These usurpations by Washington, D.C. into our state's rights with verve and sinew. Thank you.